There is always going to be problems in the world. There's always going to be problems with ourselves. There's always going to be problems with other people. The world is chaotic in nature, and it's our human inclination to want to control things, to want to make things secure, comfortable, and safe. And when we attach ourselves to that comfort zone, it creates a lot of internal suffering. So, at peace is the person who can accept things as they are and doesn't need to control, change, modify. It could just let go of the steering wheel and say, life unfold, and let it surprise me, let it excite me, and let me not need to just grip the steering wheel so tightly. And once we release that grip on the steering wheel, and one of the just a really effective technique in growing in inner peace or growing spiritually is letting go of the external material world, letting go of all the problems with ourselves. I get some emails or comments of people who are struggling with particular issues, and I can't overcome this, or this is a problem, and they focus on that issue. And once we focus upon an issue, whether it's a weakness within us or other people or a problem, it energizes and it strengthens it, and it becomes more of a mountain to climb. Instead, there's a technique to just go around it, and it's called acceptance. So we accept things as they are, and then we are not so pulled in the external world, and we could go within and we could say, everything is okay exactly as it is. That is such a revolutionary statement, because we're so busy trying to fix ourselves, fix other people, change things, that's what chews up all our spiritual energy, and then we wonder why we're depleted, we wonder why we're unhappy. And saying everything's okay as it is, it's like the weight has been lifted off our shoulders. We feel a sense of liberation. But then the mind, you think, well, the mind will start bombarding us. No. This is wrong with you. And it's kind of like nudging you. Hey, this is wrong. You got to fix this. You got to change this. And that's still going to happen. And we just acknowledge it. We just say, okay, the mind. Kind of like a kid, a kid that's crying and that is used to crying and pestering and nagging and bothering to get its way. And we just let that kid cry itself out. Sit in the corner. It's fine. I'm not going to try to make you stop crying. You're going to continue to cry. You're going to still try to pester me. And I'm just going to allow you to be. And that's what we do with ourselves in the mind that's constantly at work, that creates so much turmoil within our lives. So we say, that's okay. Everything's okay as it is. And we just then take that energy that we use to fix, to change, to control, and we go within. And focusing on the breath is a good one. And even our inability to accept things as they are, we accept that. And that's okay. My mind is creating some turmoil or havoc and saying, no, you need to fix this, and I'm struggling with that. That's okay. And we're living deeply. And how we are conditioned to live, from a very young age, we're conditioned to live externally. So our happiness, our state of being is based on what happens in the external world, whether people approve of us, whether we're doing good in our careers, whether our finances are good, whether our relationships are good. And that is symptomatic living. It's kind of like if you have a fruit tree and you have apples, and the apples if it has a worm on it, or it doesn't look like it's a good apple, we focus and we try to treat the apples and say, I'm going to fix this apple, I'm going to fix that apple, I'm going to make it better. And instead of saying, no, let's go to the roots, because the problem is at the roots. So much of our spiritual struggles is at the roots, and yet we just treat the surface. We treat the symptoms. So going to the roots and getting our spirit, strengthening our spiritual core, when we focus upon that, those things, the bad apples, automatically fix themselves. And it's just a beautiful thing that our energy is no longer pulled, and we're not tossed like a reed in the wind back and forth based on what happens in the world. We're going within and we're strengthening our core. Now, how do we strengthen our core? One is we just become aware of the mind and the monkey mind and all the the chaos and problems and, wanting to beat us up. And we say, who am I really? I mean, all these things that happen in the world are passing. They're fleeting. They come, they go. And yet we give so much stock and weight to them. And we cling to them. So when we go within and strengthen and live from our core, it's a deeper knowing. And it's a great tool. It's a great guide for right action. And our first, like sometimes if I have a decision or what should I be doing, my first thing is to go to the mind. Okay, how can I do this? How can I fix this? How can I make this right? How can I improve the situation? How can I achieve more security, comfort, and safety, and strengthen my ego? And that's just a real superficial way to live. So when I go deeply, I just I acknowledge, or I become aware of all that's going on in my mind, and I just go, okay, now let's go deeper. It's like peeling an onion. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. And it's not with thought. It's just with stillness. It's just like sometimes you take a bath or you listen to some real nice music, or I'll sit on a park bench and just watch nature, watch the birds, and allow. Instead of trying to force answers and force what I should be doing or right action, I just allow things to bubble to the surface. And I'll just ask a question. Hey, what should I do here? And I'll just wait for an answer. I'll be patient. And I'll just sit still, and an answer may come, an answer may not come, but there's no longer that need to control and have to know everything. And it's just a real peaceful way to live. So what we do is when we suffer, there's a strong tendency to be a victim. Well, this person did this to me, this person hurt me here, this person wronged me there. And instead of using that as fertilizer to allow us to grow and say it really has nothing to do with them, it's my reaction to the situation. And part of that is going within. So if we're caught up in a stressful or emotionally tense situation, or we're feeling just kind of wound up, or that need to control, even if it's a couple minutes. I had a very stressful job previously, and sometimes I'd get sucked in. I'd get sucked into the drama, and I would just go in the bathroom and just breathe. And just use the breath as an anchor to return to what my true nature is and what my identity is. And know that I'm going to get pulled in. I know I'm going to get pulled into some of the drama, but I have an oasis to return to. And with time, what you find is that you more frequently return to that oasis. So you're not trying to analyze and fix and figure things out and change yourself. You say, you know what? I'm flawed, I'm weak, there's so many things wrong with me, and I still love myself. And what happens, it's a cliche, the first love first love you should have is with yourself, but really that love is just a gentle acceptance. And once we start from there, all those other things in the external world just work themselves out without needing to control or manipulate them. Thanks for listening.